Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hardhats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from at Noel Hernandez.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we are going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So my junk food and Kandyce's junk food will be arriving a little bit later.
Yeah, Toby's delivering it. Mm-hmm. So see, the thing is, tomorrow is Toby's birthday. Mm-hmm. So for his birthday, he's going to get us food. No. Technically, it's not his birthday yet. Or his birthday is like at midnight, right? In like 2 hours. So we're making him, do our chores and everything. And then we won't make him do it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay.
Exactly.
Also,
you must know his juices out, his chore juices.
Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan. Started watching in 2007 and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen seasons 1 and 2 and those we've done on the show. And a few scattered here and there in season 3.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby. Okay, Toby's not here because he's getting our food. But Noah, you go ahead and do it for him.
Here's what happened.
All right, so this is Mr. Monk is the Best Man, Season 8, Episode 13. So here's what happened. In the opening scene, we see a nervous captain pacing in his office preparing to propose to his girlfriend, TK. Monk ruins the surprise, forcing Leland to get his answers sooner than expected, and there's a wedding on the books. After the open, we see Randy and the captain rolling up on the scene of a murder victim who's been badly burned in the woods. He has no ID and is beyond recognition and is sent to the lab. There, Monk has only a boot to go off of, but does discover a small piece of green styrofoam wedged in his heel. Meanwhile, TK, who is busy preparing for her wedding, gets even busier when her maid of honor, Stephanie Briggs, gets pulled over on her way into town. TK and Leland go to bail her out and the planning continues until a mysterious stalker begins harassing TK and even breaks into the captain's house. The murder victim report comes back for a Charlie Doyle who worked at a flower shop explaining the green foam. When they run his prints, they find he is actually Martin Kettering, a top 10 most wanted fugitive from a bombing in the 90s, of which 3 of his cohorts are still at large. As for the wedding, it's finally called off after one of the wedding gifts explodes at the rehearsal, being the last straw for TK. As the maid of honor helps the unplanning of the wedding, Monk puts it all together. He realizes the flower arrangements Stephanie had were from the same florist shop that Martin Kettering had worked. It turns out she was a member of Kettering's eco-terrorism group and had seen him at the florist. He tried to blackmail her, but she wouldn't have it and murdered him instead. But when she left the crime scene, she was pulled over and stashed the gun in Leland's tuxedo bag. The only way to get it back was to break up the wedding. Of course, her plan is foiled. The captain and TK tie the knot, and Mr. Monk is the best man after all. All right, that was Mr. Monk is the Best Man. And while I was reading that, we had Toby bring us our food. Mm-hmm. So I have some pasta fina hot wings with some paleo-approved Primal Kitchen ranch, which is very good. It tastes just like regular ranch. So
if you don't know what pasta fina is, it's like a mixture between heaven and like earth. No, it's a local... Is it local?
Well,
it's not like a big...
It's one of those things, I think, that it's a chain.
Yeah, but it's like a small...
It's like a chain, but people like individually own them kind of thing. So you're like, your town has... Oh, God, it's spicy.
Oh,
your town has a local...
Your town.
A local pasta fina. And there's no drinks, so...
I have my drinks.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
I had a jalapeno popper, though. I got chickeny because I'm a fatty.
Okay. So, we're going to probably pause. Oh, wait, did you say what you got?
Yeah, chickeny. I got chickeny. I got some chicken. I got
tenders.
I got some chicken tenders. Whoa. Yeah, I got some chicken tenders. I got some jalapeno poppers. I got some biscuits and gravy. And yeah.
Nice.
How it goes.
Okay, so we're going to pause because there's no way I can eat this.
Yeah, without crying.
Yeah, without crying and choking on sauce. So, BRB.
Bye.
Okay, we are back from eating our food. Mine was very good. So what did we like about this episode?
You know what, Candace? I want you to go first.
Oh, okay. So then ask me.
What did you like about this episode?
Okay, Monk blows the surprise. This is so sweet. I absolutely love this because like I was kind of watching it to determine like, okay, am I going to be mad at Monk? Like what is happening? Cuz I remembered that because I knew like the episode title, so I knew it was going to happen. So I was like, I don't remember if I like this made me mad or what. But he's so excited and he's so giddy and he's like, oh my gosh, I know what's happening. The captain's been pacing in his office. He's been talking to himself. He trimmed his mustache 2 days early, which he never does. And I saw him flossing. He never flosses. And then he has the ring box. He's been patting like a ring box shaped item in his pocket or whatever. Like he just uses his detective skills to like put it all together. And it was because sometimes he does that and it gets a very poor reaction because they're like, really, Monk? Like, really? Yeah, you figured that out and you couldn't keep it to yourself? Yeah. But that one was so exciting because then everybody starts crying and they like all have tears in their eyes and then Stottlemyre doesn't figure it out. Like, it's not even on his radar that like, okay, they figured it out. He's like, what? And TK's like, oh, nothing. And Randy's just like looking at him like, attaboy, and like smiling. And Natalie's like, it's beautiful. It's so, and then Monk just like has his hands like on his face and he's so happy. I love that. Such an endearing scene. I love that.
I think I really do agree with you. It was really special, like a very special way to, propose and be like, because that's what he does. Like, he's a police officer and he's with Monk and that's like his life. And so, that being reflected in his proposal is cute, cool and all. But I thought it would be way funnier if Monk was like, oh, he's totally going to propose to you. He's totally going to propose to you. And he comes out and they're all crying and he's like, what? And he did not like plan that at all. And Monk just read the situation completely wrong or something.
Yeah, well, you kept saying that while we were watching it because you were like, oh, he's totally not. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, he's not proposing. Like, he's totally wrong. And I'm thinking, like, does he want that to happen? Because, like, what's the end game of that? Like, wouldn't that be sad, though, if he didn't propose?
I guess.
Like, what would have happened?
Like, whenever she's like, can I see the ring? And him being like, it's a surprise. And then, like, she walks out and he, like, looks at everyone else.
That's just really, like, storyline-y. Like, it would have to be, like... Then it would be, like, a really forced... Like, instead of the captain, like, actually being ready to marry her...
Yeah, that's true.
They would have been, like...
That's true.
Wait, so he didn't really want to marry her? That's a forced storyline. But, yeah. I feel like that might have just been one of those things where, like, you were expecting it and you almost wanted it to happen. Like, expecting, like, oh, and then didn't. And so you're like, oh, I thought this was going to happen. Yeah. What I actually thought you were going to say was that we didn't get to see him actually propose. Like, she makes him wait.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do it and go, well, I might as well do it here and then do it. And then he didn't. And I was kind of disappointed in that. That's another thing.
They definitely should have. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of to go off that, my next like is that I thought it was very believable that Stottlemyre and TK were getting married. I was worried that it would not be. And so I was kind of concerned about this one because, like, I knew that this was coming up, the captain's wedding. And I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, we just saw her in Happy Birthday, Mr. Monk. That's, like, the only other episode I believe that she was in. She was mentioned in Mr. Monk and Sharona, which was the next episode after her first episode, because I think Stottlemyre has a picture of her on his desk. And Sharona, like, notices that, like, oh, you have a new girl or whatever. Yeah. Mentions it, So it's like, I was just really kind of worried about the fact that, like, it was going to seem really forced and, like, okay, like, this, like, it's, like, ungenuine. Yeah. Like, they don't really seem like they're, like, that in love. They're not into it that much. Especially because, I mean, honestly, I kind of base my bar off of Linda Fusco, even though she was a murderer. Like, their relationship before that, like, we had a longer relationship. Much longer. A year.
Yeah.
A year-long relationship where they say they've been together for 6 months. So I think they tied it together well. And I just thought it was really believable. And I was concerned it wouldn't be, and I'm glad that it was believable. Yeah. Did you think it was, or did you feel like it was forced?
I felt like it was a little early. Because he was like, oh, it's 6 months in or whatever. And I don't know. 6 months.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I remember that one of the viewers that we had before, where she was talking about his age, and what's the girl, Stephanie, where she's like, oh, you have your whole life ahead of you. And he's like, okay, that's just cruel. Like, obviously pointing out the fact, like, he does not have his whole life ahead of him. Mm-hmm. So the whole 6 months thing is, like, it's a little pushing it. But I think I just like the fact that they at least acknowledged that it was 6 months later.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, wait, for us, it's been, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's been, because since birthday, 4 or 5 episodes ago.
Yeah. And I don't know, that just might sound silly, but I just believed when they said it. Like, oh, we've been together 6 months. And then I was automatically taken to 6 months in the future where it's like, oh, okay, they're getting married. And I was just like on board with it. I don't know. It was just something that I was a little concerned about, like, oh God, like, because this is obviously the end of their storyline, right? Yeah. Like, so I was just really like, I really just hope this doesn't feel forced. And I'm just glad that it didn't. So
yeah. My next like is Monk and his ring hand.
Yeah.
The entire episode, he just doesn't open his hand until, the marriage, whenever they have to pry it out of his hand.
Yeah, that's when I was watching, I was like, that would actually be extremely hard to pry your hand open. Yeah. Like, so hard. Because you know how, like, I'm trying to think of what you do where your hand's actually like that, and you're like, oof, I've been clenching my hand for a while. Like, if you were doing that for days, your hand would be like,
what is that? Yeah, I feel like that's
shut.
A thing where you hold on to something for a really long time. Maybe like scootering?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. It reminded me of the episode where, is it Phoebe? On Friends, and she's playing the Pac-Man machine, and she's playing it like all day, and her hand gets stuck, and she has like a claw. Or maybe it's Chandler. I think Chandler's hand gets stuck, and he's like, I have a claw or something. I don't really remember, but it's funny. That's just what it reminded me of, because like he can't bend his hand. I was like, that. I feel like that's actually true. Like, that's believable.
Yeah.
We have Stoudemire singing, "I'm in heaven." I'm in heaven. And what the setup for it is, they're at the crime scene. So I guess there's like a CSI guy, another CSI guy, and Randy. And they're at this crime scene, and apparently this man has been like set on fire. Yeah. And like they could like literally only found his shoe or whatever, but he's like horrifically burned. Yeah. And so
they're like, oh, this is the worst body I've ever seen. They're like throwing up, like, oh God, this is horrible. And then
Stoudemire's like, dancing cheek to cheek, I'm in heaven. Holy, monkey. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Like, holy monkey. It's so funny. And it's just like, but he's so happy, but it's
he's like, oh, have you lost some weight? I'm in heaven. He's just like complimenting everyone.
Yeah. And the horribly, horribly burned man.
My next like is Monk in his ring hand whenever he's putting on the glove. Oh yeah. My God. It is so freaking funny.
Just like, I don't have anything to like mimic that sound, but it's like,
yeah.
And he's trying to put it on his fist.
Yes. He's just like struggling so much. I don't know how it would be that hard.
I mean, I feel like it'd be easier with your mouth. You could hold one side with your finger, and then you can like hold the other side down. But like with one hand, he's like trying to put it, and then put it on the other side, and then the other side, and the other side.
How did he get it on the other hand?
He probably harder. Used it like this. Maybe, I don't know. How did he get it on the other hand? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, right?
I guess he just used like his thumb and his index finger.
Yeah.
Put it on and like slid it on like that, and then had to do the other one. Yeah. So I don't remember. But, so my next thing is that same scene whenever they're going. I guess like they're arriving. They're already in the Emmy's office or whatever, and they're like, okay, so what do we know about the guy? And Randy's like, we basically knew that he was flammable. And then I was like, oh gosh, that's a low blow. And then I don't remember what he picks up. Oh, Monk picks up the little green styrofoam. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, let's bag it. And he puts it in the bag. And Randy's like, all right, I'm going to take this down to the lab. And then Stoudemire's like, we're in the lab. And he's like, all right, then I'll just set it down right here. I thought it was cute. Well, it was funny to me, too, because I didn't catch that they were in the lab when he said it. It's just such a thing that they say.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're in the lab. And he's like, oh, then I'll just put it down right here.
Okay, my next is Monk's bachelor party.
Mm-hmm.
He has his coaster for the coaster.
Oh,
he's like, remember everyone?
Yes.
There's the coasters, and there's the coaster for the coasters. They're like drinking juice boxes. And then the bathroom, inside of the bathroom, which is a porta potty, inside of the bathroom, which is so freaking funny.
And the guy asks him where he's like, you have a bathroom in the bathroom, and he's like, well, I couldn't put it in the kitchen. I feel like he's crazy.
And then the pizza with no cheese.
What is they're like? It's not even cheese pizza though, and he's like, no, I ordered it plain, and like, yeah, but there's not even cheese on it. He's like, yeah, extra plain. No fuss, no muss, or something like that. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, those poor guys.
I know.
Those poor guys. Oh man.
What would you even do?
Oh.
Okay. Why would you let Monk plan your bachelor party? Why wouldn't you make Randy your best man? Poor Randy.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're gonna.
I think you should have been.
Okay, you're getting into. Okay. My next thing is. This is super random, but the fire when the car was on fire, that was a real fire.
Oh yeah.
Like there was no CGI. Like every time we see fires on Monk, it's CGI. I mean, unless it was just really good CGI, and then props to them. Mm-hmm. But that car was on fire.
On fuego.
Oh, and then also the that was Randy's setup was good too. And he's like, because at the bachelor party they're like, everybody gets one beer, and Stottlemeyer's like, one beer? Okay, so we each have enough to have all of us get a little bit sleepy, or one guy good and plastered. And they're like, designated drunk, I like it. And Randy's like, me, I call it. And then so I guess he's off drinking by himself, which doesn't really make sense to me. But he's drinking by himself, but then he comes back and he's like, "Whoo, have you seen that car downstairs? It's on fire," or something like that. And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's got flames all on the side and on the hood and in the windshield." And like, it has flames in the windshield. Yeah. And he's like, "What car's on fire?" And he runs out there and he's like, "What?" I thought that was a good setup. There's flames in the windshield. I thought that was good. Yeah, I also did have Monk's terrible bachelor party, but I think we said most of the stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to say the movie, the bachelor party movie?
Oh, I didn't have that specifically.
Well, basically, Monk's like, let's watch this movie, guys. It's rated R. And the movie is called Bachelor Party. And does he say like, "Oh, how fitting," or whatever? Yeah. But
can you believe it's perfect?
And everyone's just sitting there like, "Oh, okay." And they're like watching all these guys like do crazy stuff, I'm guessing, in this movie, and they're like, "Oh wow, oh cool," because it's like that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Instead, they're watching them. I can't remember the words that he uses. He like is reading the back of it, and it's like. Because I think he throws it to Stottlemeyer. He's like, "Check it out." And throws it across the room. And Stottlemeyer's like, surprising, like crazy, surprising, and sinful or something like that. And he's like, "That's for you." It's so funny and so sad. It's so sad. The next one is, again, Randy's getting me with some of these lines. I want to say that this is probably the time I laughed the most in this episode. I think it is.
Yes. I love this line.
It's when... they're trying to figure out who could possibly be trying to scare TK and the captain, and Randy and Stottlemeyer are sitting in Stottlemeyer's office, and they're like, "Okay, who's on your short list? Like, who's, the guy who do you think would come after you? Like, someone you arrested or whatever?" Stottlemeyer's like, "We don't have anybody. They're either in prison or they're dead."
And Randy's like, "Or both."
No, Randy. Nobody's both.
Someone can be dead and in prison.
Oh my god, I can't with that. It was so bad. Or both. No. Nobody's both. Oh god.
It's just like he talks when his brain just shuts off and it's like on autopilot.
I don't know what it is. It's so good. It was one of those things where like Stottlemeyer's like, he's under so much stress and he doesn't have time to explain things to Randy, and he's just like, no. Nobody's both. I can't let that one go. Oh my gosh. I also liked Randy's solo on the steel drum.
Oh yes, like beautiful.
That reminded me of The Office. There's because you asked me what it was, and I was like, "What is that?" Michael Scott plays it. After he comes back from Jamaica, and he's like, "Feeling hot, 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 feeling hot, hot, hot," and that's the only thing he knows. It's like blum blum blum. Blum, blum. That's the only thing he knows, and it reminded me of that.
That is so funny because it reminded me of Community.
Oh really?
Because like. Someone, like, they miss someone or whatever, and they have a new friend, and Project Brewster, who was on the Criminal Minds thing, they're like, what was so great about this person? And Jeff's like, oh, well, they knew steel drums, and he's like, guys, trust me, it'll pay off. And like at the end of the episode, there's like this big concert, and like this light shines, and she's like playing the steel drums. He's like, I told you it would pay off. It's so funny.
Padgett Brewster is playing the steel drums? Yes. Oh, that's cool. I know who that is. I'm definitely not to that part yet, but I know who that is.
Yeah, that's like season 6, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very far.
Criminal Minds, I know her.
But he's like, it'll pay off, trust me. And at the very end, it pays off. It's amazing.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about that, though, was that when Randy's playing the steel drums, that's when the bomb goes off in the package, and he didn't get to, like, finish. Like, I thought they were going to, like, let him, like, play it out, and they're all just going to stare at him like, okay. Yeah. And he's like, da-da-da-da. Was there another episode where he does that?
Where he just keeps playing?
Yeah. And they're like, wait, I guess is this the Y one? Y. And he's like, blum, 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 blum. And you're like, oh my God. I thought they were going to do that. I guess that would have been the same joke twice, but I was feeling it. I was feeling the steel drum, and then they did the explosion. I was like, oh man, okay.
The random gift blew up. I just thought that was really funny.
Oh, really?
Like, because not Natalie. Randy's like halfway through saying, dun, 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 and it's like, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, you thought it was funny? Oh.
I was like, literally, like,
I was like, oh man.
Monk being a cactus.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a cactus. Because he, like, doesn't like being touched. I was like, that's so fitting. And then Natalie being a butterfly, I forgot what it's called, butterfly something, but it like she was like standing right next to it, and I was like, oh my God, it like resembled her. I feel like.
What was it? Oh, okay.
She looks like the flower.
She does. Okay, so Natalie's a butterfly orchid.
That's totally Natalie vibes, like butterfly orchid, like her standing next to it. I'm pretty sure there's a better frame of her standing next to it.
No, that's good right there.
No, like that one. Like,
yeah, she does look like.
She looks like
what's a crocus?
A crocus. She said you're a bud.
Yeah, I don't know, but Randy's like, I've always felt like a crocus.
Yeah, just like a random.
No way, no kidding.
Yeah.
Like what? Randy is so funny. He's so funny.
I mean, they were just so fitting.
Yeah.
Like, but
then she calls him a cactus. But then that's not what she finishes on though. She's like, wait, I have it. And she brings over the plastic pen.
Oh, yeah.
With the flower on top. And she's like, but it's plastic. And you're like, exactly. Yeah. It's a perfect match. And he's like, I love it. That was good. That was really cute. Yeah. Okay. I only have a few more, actually. And they're all not funny. They're all, like, sad or sentimental or whatever. And one of them is, I love how Natalie was hanging out with the girls. And I wrote that before this next part, but thing. Yes, I wrote that before that. Like, I was like, because the guys got to hang out, and I was thinking like, oh no, wait, like, but Natalie's not a part of the guys thing, so I hope that they don't cut Natalie out of this episode again.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
And even though we're not like that into TK and her, fake sister or whatever, we don't care about them per se, but I thought it was really nice that Natalie was still a part of their thing, and yeah, I don't know. I thought that was really good. And then I put after that, I'm like, and go Natalie pulling for the captain. Oh my gosh. Did you have that? That was oh my gosh, that was such a good scene. Because, I mean, like, you know, we know, like, Stephanie is trying to break them up, spook them and everything. And so she's being that friend who's, you know, even though she has ulterior motives, like, you know, there's people like that, like, no matter
like,
what. And they're
you're
like,
better single.
You're better than that. You're better than him, blah, blah, blah. And they're either miserable themselves or they just don't know the person.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, well, hang on. You're not here.
Yeah.
You don't know Leland. And Natalie has that beautiful perspective from the fact that she knows Leland and that she related to it because of Mitch. And she's like, you know what, though? If I knew everything that was going to happen with Mitch, even though we were only married for 8 years, I would have married him for 8 minutes. And she's like, you know, oh man, it's so good. And so, yeah, so that definitely just compiled on top of I love seeing Natalie getting to hang out with the girls. And she defends Leland and also Mitch and her and, yeah.
Dang.
So
Natalie's the best character. I mean, that is like the best advice ever.
Yeah.
In the history of the world. Like, I love my husband more than anything. You should do it. I know about Stoudemire. I know who he is. He's a good person. And I would take all of it back just to be with Mitch.
Yeah. Well, there's actually another good one coming up. Do you have, what do you have?
I have one more, like, random. I thought you meant, like, sentimental.
Oh, no, I just meant, like, your turn. Because I have 2 things left.
Oh, yeah. My last one is...
Oh, your last one.
Yeah, my last one is Monk being held at gunpoint. And he's like, Stoudemire, she's the guy.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's so true. She's definitely the guy. That is good.
Thanks, Monk.
Oh, I actually had that. I wrote it up at the top because I ran out of room. But I put a Stoddy scheme.
Yes.
Totally Stoddy scheme because they're walking and I did not remember this part. For some reason I was like, well, I know there's a gun in the tuxedo bag, but that's what she just took out.
Yeah.
So what on earth is he feeling for inside of the bag? I did not understand that. And then he was like, oh yeah, that gun's empty. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll show you. Boom. And he's like, well, now it's empty. You emptied the chamber. And because he has the clip. And I was like, oh, Stoddy scheme.
Oh, plot hole.
Okay. I thought that was a really good Stoddy scheme, but
I thought it was a really good plot hole.
Okay. Okay. We'll see. Okay. The last 2 things I have is one is, I don't know if I'm getting this mixed up though. Is this 2 different scenes where Stoudemire asks Monk, like, is it okay if I marry Trudy? Like, you know, because her name's Trudy. Like, what do you think about that? And he's like, no, that's perfect. Everybody should have a Trudy. And it's really sweet. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it is a different part because it's way lower on my notes. So, it's definitely a different part. But this is whenever they're, like, about to, like, break up. And Stoudemire's like, you know, I guess I should take that ring back. And Monk is like, no. And he's, you know, gripping onto it still. And he's like, no, like, you can't give up. This is not over. This is not the end. She's your answer. And Stoudemire's like, she's my answer. And he starts, like, kind of tearing up. And he's like, where did you hear that? And he's like, Trudy used to say it. Well, my Trudy. And Stoudemire's like, starts crying. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad. And he's just like, yeah, she's my answer. Like, that's totally right. Oh my gosh. That's so good. Oh, the tears in this one. And then my last one is the wedding.
The wedding.
The wedding was beautiful.
The wedding on the beach.
It was at the beach.
And it was plot holes.
Okay, but...
And it was on the beach.
It was so...
It wasn't in the church.
The most beautiful plot hole I've ever seen.
I know.
And it was... No, it really was really pretty.
Yeah.
And Randy was playing the guitar and he was playing it really well.
Oh my god, he was.
And they say their vows, and TK actually looked really, really pretty. Like, sometimes in shows, they're like, how do I look at my dress? And you're like, that's butt ugly. She looked really pretty. Everything was great. Monk had the ring, and they say their vows, and Trudy's like, or TK, like, he calls her Trudy in the thing, which I actually thought was kind of sweet, because it's like her formal name. Oh. So she's like, I want you to wear one more thing. Hang on. Give me your wallet. And then she pulls out his badge.
Oh my god.
And she pins it on him. And I was like, that's his identity.
He is a cop.
It's identity. He is a cop. Ugh.
He was willing to quit the force for her.
It was beautiful.
They're so sweet. They're so sweet.
And see, and that goes back up to my spiel before, where I think it was very believable.
Yeah.
The episode to me was believable. Their wedding was believable. Their love was believable. And I really liked it. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you dislike about this episode?
Okay, I feel like I have a lot of contrasts. Okay, like Monk ruins the surprise. Okay, my dislike was Randy ruins the surprise. Because, like, it's just one of the things. It's like one of those things where, like, Randy knows social norms a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Like, Randy still has his moments, but Monk just, like, and he was figuring it out, and he's, like, all excited about it, and then Randy's, like, winking at the captain, like, oh, you know, like, we all know, like, he's, like, ruining it. I don't know, like, I just, I mean, it's not a terrible, it's very nitpicky, but I was like, well, Randy, like, you could have just let it go, but he kept going with it. I don't know. He just ruined it more. I don't know. That's just a little thing.
Okay. Well, my first dislike is that TK is rushed. I hate to say it. It's the truth. We met her 3 episodes ago. I mean, I don't know. They were stuck in a corner. They had to give Stottlemyre a way out. Mm-hmm. You know, his dream, which I guess tapped in a wife. You know, something of that sort. And they had to do it, but they can't bring Linda back or, you know, Karen
can't
back.
Make her be murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, be
a murderer.
Be a murderer, yeah.
But, like, I mean, I guess they could have brought Karen back.
You know what? I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, the actress who plays her, I think she might have died. Yeah. I don't remember when she died, though. I don't know if it was still when the show was on. Oh, okay, no.
June 2017.
Okay, so she died in 2017. So it was way after. It was way after.
Rest in peace.
But I will say, okay, well, of course, rest in peace. But a lot of people didn't like Karen Stottlemyre, so that would have been a really probably bad decision. Like as far as wives for him go. Okay,
how hard would it have been to make Monk's birthday a few episodes earlier and maybe put Karen in more? Like,
TK.
Oh, TK, sorry.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of the superior wife here, sorry.
Oh my god, you're going to get a lot of backlash for that one. There's so many people who cannot stand Karen Stottlemyre.
Oh my god, really? Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
Maybe
I haven't watched it in a while.
Not necessarily me. She's just a little. They're two opposites, and she's kind of like her voice is kind of annoying. I think that's people's like main argument.
Oh yeah, because she's like,
you married a captain, and you don't want him to use the gun.
Leland. Oh my god.
You know, and I hate that you use the gun, Leland.
She's dead. I feel bad.
Leland doesn't even have a gun.
She died on my birthday. Oh my god.
Oh, she died on your birthday?
She died on my birthday.
Aww.
Oh my god.
Well, like 3 years ago, though. Like your birthday, but not your birthday.
4 years ago. But yeah.
Okay, what about this, though? I know that you said that Randy and Sharona were forced. Like, I know that was your opinion. But what would be your opinion versus, like, the captain's relationship being more summed up than Randy's was? You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, what if they had... So you think if they had done the same thing and they kind of just, like, let the captain and TK ride off into the sunset with a small kiss, and we just kind of assume that they're together, but they made a big deal out of Sharona and Randy. Because I forgot that you thought that.
I thought that this was their...
You want to explain that? Because you said that to me after, and I thought that was very interesting.
Okay, so the thumbnail on the Amazon. Prime Video, Amazon, you know, what we watch it on, is for this episode, Mr. Monk is the best man, is like Randy and the lady from the flower shop, who, mind you, looks like Sharona, like, not like Sharona, like Sharona's mother, like she's
her hair.
Old enough to be, yeah. Her hair is, like, all curly and Sharona-like. And I thought, I'm not even joking, you know, Randy's, like, dressed pretty nice. And I thought, like, you know, that was the wedding this episode. Mr. Monk is the best man was Randy and Sharona getting married this episode. Which they probably do in the finale, but I don't know.
But would you have, if you had to choose either or?
I think I think this is better because I feel like it gives Sharona and Randy to air out if they do happen in the finale. But I just think they should have done this differently. Because what's the harm? It's not like 100th case with it has to be on this episode. Why couldn't they just moved Mr. Monk's birthday?
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder what the significance of that was for them.
She could have been
because I'm
here the
almost
entire
certain
season.
that Tony Shalhoub was a little older than Monk was. I think. I don't know. I could totally be off. I've never calculated that. I don't think, but I don't understand the significance of the 50th birthday. Or they could have, and we're also saying 50th birthday. They could have just introduced her earlier. She could have had a different profession, and they could have. She didn't have to be a vacuum article writer or whatever she does. Household appliance writer.
That episode could have been moved entirely, or she could have been moved entirely, and they could have integrated her more into the show, and be like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, another TK centric episode, because no one even wants that. Yeah. But like, oh hey honey, ready to go do this? Yeah. Like if an episode where Stottlemyre isn't in it or something. Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm taking Karen down, or not Karen. God, I'm taking TK down.
I would say, like, the only rebuttal that I have for that is just because, like, whenever you do, like, think of any TV show, if you get people together sooner, then at the end, people are still expecting something big to happen with them. Yeah. Like, if they had, like, say they made them to get together, like, at the beginning of season 8, by the end, we would have wanted to see that storyline move just a little bit more and maybe, like, oh, she's pregnant. But the fact that they sum her up, like, their relationship at the end means, like, okay, this is it for Stottlemyre. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's like, do you want like more groundwork laid for this, or do you actually want like, oh my gosh, he's getting married. Oh my gosh, Sharona and Randy. Oh my gosh, this is Yeah. And like you said, you don't want all of those things in the final episode. Yeah. So it's like they're trying to, and especially for Monk, that's so like not storyline based. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's very, like, all these episodes stand so much on their own with just, like, the mysteries and the crimes and stuff. We kind of put more stock into, like, the storyline of things, I think, than even the writers do. Yeah. So just kind of putting in from that perspective. But I definitely agree. I believe, like, still agree with my that it was very believable. Like, their relationship was believable. And it could very well be that Stottlemyre or Ted Levine is such a good actor, too. Yeah. Like, when he falls in love with somebody, like, you believe he falls in love with them. Yeah. And so you're like, yeah, oh my God, that's amazing. Yes. So that could have a lot to do with it. But my next dislike is Randy's terrible song. No. That song was really bad. And I didn't, my problem with it is, like, not even it's a problem. It's just a general, like, I didn't know the song that Natalie was saying that he ripped off. Yeah. So if he was, like, that would have been so much funnier to me. Yeah. But it was just because I didn't get the reference. It's nothing to do, like, with them. Like, they didn't make a mistake. That's a really funny joke. Mm-hmm. Like, that someone's parodying something and you're like, that's cool, but that's like, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And
yeah, it's like, do that on Community.
Yeah, and then you're like, what? No, it's not. You're like, yeah, it is. Think about it. Twinkle, twinkle. Yeah, and you're like, son of a... Like, that's funny, but I didn't get the reference. So that's just why I disliked it. So it wasn't my...
They could have done a broader song?
Yeah, a more popular
maybe
song.
More 2000 whatever, I'm guessing, but...
I'm assuming it's an old song, like from the 80s or something.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
I don't even remember. What did you say? Light My Fire? It sounds a lot like Light My Fire.
Because that's what it is. That you do that on Community, and it's the way it goes is what it's called. It's really funny, and he's like, he has to write a school song for Greendale, and he just completely copies the entire song.
So this says "Light My Fire" in 1967 by The Doors.
Whoa.
There's a couple other ones. "Light My Fire" by Will Young, 2002. That's not it.
Yeah, because he's just rhyming things with like Stottlemyre. Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Stottlemyre or something like that. Yeah, I don't know the tune because I don't know the song. So, yeah. But that was just my kind of... That was a personal kind of thing.
TK, apparently it's so hard for her to be a cop's wife. Yeah. A cop's wife? Relax. I get like, this is my spouse and they're in danger every day. First of all, Stottlemyre is like barely out in the field. Second of all, this is never... You dated him for 6 months. This has never happened. You know this doesn't happen. Like, will this happen every day? Don't act like you just met. We know you didn't just meet. We know that you know his job. And why are you getting second thoughts after you're like, oh my god, he's marrying me. I'm in my wedding dress right now. No. TK's an idiot and deserves to not be marrying Sotomayor.
Okay, this is what I put. I put TK's cold feet, dislike.
Thank you.
I put, he's not quitting for you, honey. And then, no, in the parentheses, I go, oh, okay, he did. He's like, oh, he's giving up his badge. And I was like, okay, he did. But then also I put underneath TK's cold feet, I put in parentheses, okay, that phone call was really creepy.
I know. Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, okay. Because at first I thought she was being a baby.
Yeah.
And then she was like, wait a second, is this? And like the whole 6-month thing. But also think the captain's been a police officer for like 20 plus years. Yeah. And I've only known you for 6 months. And something like this is already happening. Saying it's like an everyday occurrence obviously was not the right way to phrase it. But you're still thinking like, wait, does like this stuff kind of happen to you a lot? And he's like, no. Like out of the past 20 years, like I've had one other person like ever try to come at me or something like. Yeah. And she's like, wait, I've only known you for like 6 months. So like, is this... And, you know, like, they're still in that honeymoon phase of their dating relationship. Yeah. So it's like, but do I get married to you after 6 months and I can't even handle this? Or do I just go ahead and cut this off? Mm-hmm. Like, if they had been dating longer, then it would have made even less sense. But the fact that 6 months still is a really short period of time. Yeah. But, I mean, I totally put it as a dislike. I totally agree. I'm just saying the other side, like, point of view. Because I did have those parentheses, like, yeah, but... Mm-hmm. But just in general, that I think it was just honestly that particular scene, because every other thing she says after that like totally redeems herself, because she's like I don't want to make him quit the force, I don't want him to resent me, that's no way to have a marriage and stuff. And I was like, okay. And yeah. She was like listening to Stephanie and listening to Natalie.
She was very decisive.
But yeah. So my next thing is, this is another opposite, which is Monk's terrible bachelor party. It was so cringy.
Yeah. It was hard to watch.
It was sad.
It was sad.
Because, again, it's like you take Monk's things for how they are, but one of his things is like him not fitting in and being different. And it was good that they didn't harp on it. Like the guys didn't give him a hard time. They didn't laugh at him. Yeah. Or anything.
Real sweet.
But, yeah, just his terrible bachelor party was... It was very terrible.
Yeah. Oof. Okay, my last dislike is that I don't really have that many dislikes. I don't have any dislikes, but, like, that's not to say that this episode was, like amazing.
Perfect. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. It's just there wasn't much to say. Like,
I get what you're saying.
There was not much to take to and be like...
Well, sometimes that's why I have so many opposite things, because I'm like, it's not like there's like a scene I dislike or a thing I dislike. It's like, there's just like, I really like this, but a small part of it I disliked. Yeah. So I have a lot of like opposites. Like my next one is, I liked Joy, the lady. She's like, that's not my real name. It's just why I feel. Like, she was really funny and quirky. And actually, I genuinely liked her character. But just the whole thing of it was really random. Yeah. Like, completely unnecessary. A complete, like, filler scene. I feel like, I don't know what they would have done. Because it was a cute scene. So, I don't know. Like, it probably would have... I mean, it would have been more boring if it was, like, more logistical. Yeah. Like, oh, this random scene with them questioning this woman of no significance. Like, I feel like they did their best to make it a little quirky. Yeah. But I will say, too, it also helped you remember the Infinity Flower Shop at the end, because they had that whole scene. Yeah. Where you're like, oh, the flower shop. I remember that. Instead of that being, like, just a really boring scene. Yeah. And then you're like, wait, what? Oh, the flower shop. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. It did make it memorable, but just the thing in general about, like, the flowers and everything was just random. And the scene was also really long. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, this seems like a filler scene, but...
Yeah, it was just... this episode was just... the marriage was first. Everything else was back burner, which isn't terrible. But it was like... I mean, I thought it was a pretty good crime. I got it at least 5 minutes in, I would say.
Oh, that's...
I guessed it, like, pretty much right away whenever she was like, oh, I'll take the tux. Yeah. And he was like, no. I was like, okay, well, so then I did with the tux. And then, like, 5 more minutes in, I was like... Okay, so she stuck something in the tux when she was getting pulled over, and then she has to get it back, so that's why she's trying to call off the marriage. And I mean, it just wasn't... I thought it was creative, but predictable.
Okay, I'm honestly really glad that you said that, because my absolute biggest dislike is that you figured it out. You figured it out in 5 minutes, because I knew it was going to happen. So I'm like, I wrote that down. Noah figured it out.
Yeah.
And because at first you said, oh, it has something to do with the tux, and I thought you might let it go. Mm-hmm. And then she did something else, and you go, okay, hang on. She left something in the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You spelt the whole thing out, and I was like, oh, crap. And honestly, I remembered me liking the crime about this one and less about the marriage. And now I've kind of flip-flopped where I like 100%. More about the marriage and less about the crime. But you did say, oh, I thought it was clever. I just figured it out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, at least he did think that it was clever, not like, what? That was so lame. I figured it out. Like, it was a little clever. Mm-hmm. It was just too obvious.
Yeah.
They should stop mentioning the tux. Yeah. She mentioned the tux 3 times. Mm-hmm. And they just should have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So, okay. All right. So, talk about nitpicky. This is one of my dislikes. Is I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? We've never seen Monk or Trudy like a flashback in a snippet, but we've never seen their proposal or their wedding. Like, we've seen a snippet of their wedding, like of them like feeding each other cake and Monk's like crying about it, super sad. But we've never seen a flashback of the like, I can't even imagine Monk proposing. And I wish I had seen it.
And her like probably helping him.
Or some like,
yeah. Like
all the words he would have said to her, that would have been perfect.
Oh my God. And, yeah. I'm imagining it. Which,
and I wrote that too because I was like, I was kind of a little bummed that we didn't see Stottlemyre propose. And then I was like, you know what though? I would have rather seen Monk propose. And that's what we've never seen.
Yeah.
So that was a little picky thing. And then I also wrote Captain Albright. And she mentioned, it wasn't a dislike, but I just jotted it down because I forgot about it.
It was a little callback.
Yeah. And I was like, oh.
We were like, yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, Natalie needs more Mitch screen time because every time she talks about Mitch, I start crying because oh my freaking gosh, honestly, I feel like they've kind of like beat Monk and Trudy to death, but I feel like Natalie and Mitch is so fresh and like interesting, like. I mean,
but you mean like
I'm still invested in Trudy and like the car bomb and everything. But like her talking about Mitch is amazing. She's such a good actor.
But like, you think that they actually should do flashback or just mentions more?
I think they should do a flashback because we never actually like seen Mitch, right?
No.
And yeah.
They got to make him a little more, I don't know, handsome. Not handsome, but more rugged than the other guy.
Yeah, like, Steven was kind of like scrawny.
He's kind of pretty boyish.
Yeah, pretty boyish, not very lieutenant.
Yeah, make him a little manlier, just a little.
Just a little.
Because he's a handsome guy,
and it's Natalie's man.
Yeah, so
someone who Natalie wouldn't, boss around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why couldn't?
Yeah. Telling you, we just make our own reboot.
I know.
Write the script, submit it.
Yes, exactly. Reboot. It's all fun. It's called Tiger instead of Monk. I'm Detective Natalie Tiger. This is my assistant, Adrian.
No, this is the spinoff. The Eager Miss Tiger. Oh.
The Eager Miss Tiger. And Monk, like, when something happens to Monk, or, like, he finds something that's related to the finale, and, like, Monk's whole bow tied and whatever. And Natalie is like, well, I'm going to go be my own detective since I've spent the past 4 years, like, basically studying you. And so she gets to be the Eager Miss Tiger. And she goes across America solving crimes.
I honestly, like, I know we're done, but, like, that would be a really good idea that after the show is over, like, if we ever did a bonus thing, would be to do a spin-off. Like, just, spout off ideas of a spin-off for the Monk, for a Monk reboot, a Monk movie.
Yeah.
Like, a Stottlemyre spin-off, a Randy spin-off, a Natalie spin-off, and, like, what that would entail.
We already know what the Randy spin-off would look like.
Yeah.
Jason Gray.
Yeah.
It's like something about Randy's music, him and his buddies.
Yeah. That'd be Okay, but I am done with the dislikes though. So
I am as well.
Okay.
He's the guy. All right, I have someone today.
You do? Okay.
The most recognizable person, I'd say, in this episode, Michael Shalhoub.
Really?
Shalhoub, yes.
He's Shalhoub.
He's the older Shalhoub brother. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
He looked older.
Who was he?
He was the priest. You didn't notice?
Oh.
Which
I didn't.
plot hole. Anyways, Michael Shalhoub.
Shalhoub?
He's Shalhoub, Candace. Okay, for doing this too much. Okay. Well, basically, me and my brother, when we were like younger, we used to play this game called Disney Infinity. Okay, and there's 3 different like games, like Disney Infinity 1, Disney Infinity 2, and Disney Infinity 3. And in Disney Infinity 1, he played one of the characters, and basically,
Michael Shalhoub did?
Michael Shalhoub. He did Hoob inside of Disney Infinity. But basically in Disney Infinity, you're like, it's like an interactive game where you have actual figures and you put them on the thing, and they come in, and they're on the screen, right? Mm-hmm. And he played Luigi, because it's based off of Disney characters. And he played Luigi from Cars. Which I don't know how he did, like, what...
Does he have an Italian accent?
I guess.
Because remember Tony Shalhoub, on Wings, he played Antonio Scarpacci, and he's Italian in Wings. So that makes sense.
Yeah, because Luigi's Ferrari. Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it is good casting, actually.
Anyways. I just thought it was cool because I was like, he's probably not in anything. And then I realized he's from a video game that me and my brother used to play all the time.
That's actually pretty interesting.
I know. Thank you. I thought it was pretty interesting, too.
I have someone else submitted something. But, so this is Carol Kane as Joy. Super familiar, super recognizable voice. Like, that voice is just like, she's so funny.
Yeah.
But I thought you might want to read. So Lindsay submitted just a little, he's the guy. I had this one too, and we had similar stuff, so if you want to read it.
Lindsay. Follow her at LindsayNC10. She says, "Hey guys, I just have a quick He's the Guy for the Best Man episode. I recognize the florist Carol Kane from the Netflix show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt with Ellie Kemper from The Office as the title character." You know, Kimmy Schmidt. Which I watched with my family during quarantine. I recognize her voice too, and when I looked her up, I realized she's the voice of Isabella's grandma from Phineas and Ferb, one of my favorite shows growing up, which was super cool. That's all I had for her, but I hope y'all have a great day. She totally... Isabella's grandma!
I thought you might catch that. I didn't watch Phineas and Ferb as much as you.
I used to always watch that
It's
show.
so cute, though. Get you a gammy, said I love you. I said a bound, chicka wow wow. That's what my baby said. Now, and my heart starts pumping. Chicky choo wow. Get you gooby, said I love you.
Yay! Oh my god, I love that show so much. I could rewatch it.
And I always liked, because Ashley Tisdale plays Candace.
I know, and you were totally.
I'm like, oh my gosh, Vega. Okay, so yeah. Totally on Phineas and Ferb. I 1,000% recognized her from Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
I watched I think all of but the last season. That show's a little kooky, but I do love Ellie Kemper's really funny. She's really funny on The Office too. Mm-hmm. And so it like a kind of a, I would call it a dumb show, not to offend anyone, but it's kind of one of a dumber show. Like Ellie really sells that for me. Like, so another actress could just be like, like this is too dumb. She plays the dumb character so well, because that's who she plays on The Office too.
On Kimmy Schmidt?
She plays, yeah, because Kimmy Schmidt
is the cult person.
Yeah, she's been underground in a bunker for the past 15 years or whatever. So when she comes back up, she has no like understanding or social norms or anything. So it's really good. But then in like The Office, she plays Erin, who's the receptionist, and she's just really stupid, and she just plays it so well. So And along with Lindsay's submission, when we asked in our Monkers group on Facebook, we got a response from Thomas Ahern, who said his comment was he was glad that Stottlemyre got his happy ending, but he also noted that this is the only episode with 2 Oscar nominees, which are Carol Kane and, of course, Virginia Madsen, who we've discussed on Happy Birthday, Mr. Monk. And yeah, I thought that was really cool that 2 Oscar nominees were on here. I didn't know that, and so I was glad that he pointed that out. So good job, Thomas. And then my other person was Terry Polo, who is extremely recognizable as well. She played Stephanie Briggs, the murderer. She was on an episode of Medium, of Numbers, but I recognize her from The Fosters. I watched that whole series. She's one of the moms, Steph. And then she's probably, I would say, most famous for Meet the Parents. She's the wife of Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller?
Yeah, she plays Pam Burns, and so, Meet the Parents is, Ben Stiller is, and Meet the Parents is like, it's her in-law, it's his in-law, so it's her parents. Her dad is Robert De Niro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's Toby loves this stupid line where Ben Stiller's like, well, you can pretty much milk anything with nipples. And the dad's like, well, Greg, I have nipples, can you milk me? And Toby loves that line. I don't know why, but he thinks it's so funny. But so every time I think of Meet the Parents, that's what I think of, because Toby always says that. But she's Pam Burns from Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers, and I think there's Meet the Little Fockers or something, because they have kids or something, and one of them, yeah. Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and Meet the Little Fockers. Because their last name is Fokker. Because it's
Meet the Little Fockers.
it's her. Because I want to say that.
It's a family show. Okay. You're just completely making this up.
And so I'm just.
There is no movie called Meet the Fockers. You're just making me sing it now. Wow, okay, it is.
Okay. And then I also wanted to mention that we have one kind of like final viewer's voice. So when I asked everyone in the Munkers group, they all responded with like, he's the guy stuff. So I just figured I'd put everything in this segment. So anyways, so our last one is from Lisa, who of course joined us for our Happy Birthday Mr. Monk episode on our He's the Guy segment. So Lisa coming in strong once again. She mentioned that Terry Polo and Virginia Madsen, right? We talked about this on our past episode, that both of these ladies were Frasier's love interests. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that I didn't notice that. Terry Polo totally was one of Frasier's love interests. So good catch by Lisa, as always. And then, of course, she also mentioned, Tony Shalhoub's brother as the minister. So good job, Lisa. So now it's time for 2 bonus He's the Guys, since I've been watching Community. There's John Michael Higgins, who plays Ronnie Lankman on Mr. Monk and the Game Show. He was on an episode of Community. I don't remember which one. Was he a teacher? He's like in the first or second episode. It was one that I watched with you. And I was like, okay, he's from Monk. I want to say he was in one of the classes, and I was like, what class is this supposed to be? And you were like, I don't know. It's one of the first couple episodes.
It's the, where he's like, seize the day, carpe diem.
Yes.
Carpe diem.
Or yeah, oh, you're right. Okay, he tells Jeff, like, carpe diem, and then at the end he kisses a girl, and he's like, you carpe diem, you seize the heck out of that day, or whatever. Yeah.
But so what is he? Yeah, it's something like, I forget what the thing is called.
I don't know what the class is.
It's something stupid.
Philosophy or something.
No, it's, because he's trying to get, what's it called, credit? This is no way to teach.
He's Professor Whitman.
Accounting. This is no way to teach accounting.
Oh, this is no way to teach accounting. You're right. Okay, yeah. And then, do you want to tell the people the one that you missed? I literally text you because I saw this and I was like, really, bro? She's on Community? And you were like,
Guys, the Linda Fusco is on Community, but with dyed red hair. So it
was like super short.
Yeah, it was super short, dyed red hair, and I did not recognize her at all. But as soon as Candace sent me that text, I was like, oh my god, I am so dumb.
She was totally in it.
Because I was like, no, she's not. And then I was like, yeah, she is.
You were like, who? And it was like the old guy named Pierce. He has an escort.
Yeah.
And well, it's not his escort. His girlfriend that's her profession. She is an escort or something.
Yeah.
And
well, he thinks it's her girlfriend, but she is an escort.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay. I guess I catch that. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's Linda Fusco, and I texted you.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, that we've been talking about Linda Fusco too much. Okay, so let's move on to
Junk time. Welcome back to my favorite time of the year on the show where we eat junk and kind of question. Do you like it?
Do you like it? Well, we ate all of our junk because
I'm sad.
that was at the beginning of the show. I'm actually so thirsty. All I have is my apple juice, but I just really want an ice glass of water.
Ooh, I got some leftover like melted ice, so.
I'm jealous. Okay. Toby is slacking. Toby's birthday is about to be here. So we probably should hurry up so we can tell him happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, what is your soul flower?
I was thinking about it the other day. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea. I wanna figure it out because I was watching this and I was like, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people are like, what's your Hogwarts house? You know, like, what's your zodiac?
Yeah.
No,
you don't have to come up with your zodiac,
but
but
flower.
Yeah.
What's your flower, man? What's yours?
Okay, I mean, I know my favorite flower is a tulip. I don't know if that represents my personality per se.
You can't say tulip. That's so basic.
No,
is it? Flowers.
That's my favorite flower. I will say that I have had some gladiolas pop up in my not pop up. I planted them. They're blooming. They're really pretty. They bloom in the summer and they're super pretty. I from what little I know about flowers, petunias, like, they last in the summer and they bloom. Like, they're really hardy. I always buy mums in the fall, and they have like pretty like orange and red, like deep burgundy tones, or bright like marigold tones. There's also marigolds. I love lilies too. I plant those for the springtime. Roses. I mean, people give me roses a lot, like for Valentine's Day or for coaching or just whatever. I do love roses and they smell really good, but they're not my favorite. And a lot of people say like, oh, well, roses have thorns. So like people are like, oh, they're beautiful on the outside, but you know, they're prickly or they're hard to get to the surface or something. I don't know about that. Yeah. Are you taking a quiz on what's your flower?
Does money matter to you in a relationship? Of course it does. What is the best source of dating advice for you? Books? No, my best friend. Finally, what is your worst quality? I am emotional. I am dramatic. I am bossy. I am naive. I'd say I'm naive. Actually, I'm pretty bossy. Actually, I'm pretty emotional. Actually, I'm pretty dramatic. Okay, I'm going to go with naive. I'm a rose.
Oh, gosh. How cliche.
Despite the tough facade, rose people are extremely caring. They will champion for friends and families, and they will always see the best in people. Thanks.
That's basically what I said. Like, a rose is like, that's what everybody says. Oh, a rose is beautiful on the outside and has thorns. Like, it's literally. Okay, I found one. Was yours on flowermag.com?
Probably not. Okay. I think mine was BuzzFeed.
Okay, I took a flower quiz and it says, I am an iris.
Ooh.
You're a rational and observant person and therefore are an excellent problem solver. You enjoy learning about how things work and often prefer to work alone. Independent, analytical, a lover of learning. You stand out for your competence and intelligence. I can't say the word. And you're impellable.
And you're smart.
The legend goes that when an ancient king found himself trapped between a river and the enemy, he cleverly used irises growing in the river as a guide to safety across the shallowest part of the river. Perhaps this is why the iris is now considered to be an emblem of wisdom.
Wow, your website was better than mine. An iris? I liked mine, or the resurrection one.
I'm an iris? Oh my gosh. I love this. What a good question I had for junk time.
Yeah, that was a good question. That was
kind of fun.
Is that your only question? I have one.
Okay.
What is the right time to get married?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I mean, I try to be just super smart about it, and because I'm so intelligent. I got married right after college. I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't think that was like a good time. I mean, like, but you gotta understand, like, I was with my significant other since I was 12. Like, boyfriend and girlfriend since we were 12. And so, literally, dated through junior high, high school. And by the time we were, like, going into college, we were already, like, or, you know, towards the end of high school, we're like, well, you know, if we get married, it'll be after college. Like, we're not going to get married during college. Like, we won't do that. Then, so, like, college comes around, and then we're about to be graduated from college, and then he proposed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so shocked. And he was like, why are you shocked? We said we were going to get married after college. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess I didn't put the math together. So we, like, literally, he proposed, like, right when, because I said that I wanted, like, a year and a half to, like, plan for the wedding. And he proposed, like, right on the dot. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was, like, so shocked. I'm dumb. And not intelligent. And so then a year and a half later, we got married. So after... Oh, wait. No, that's not true. Hang on. Well, a year and a half, yeah. So when we were juniors in college, he proposed. And then so whenever we graduated after college, we got married like 6 months later. Or something like that.
I just feel like few month relationships, at least 2 years is what I think.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Yeah. My bad. I was totally interpreting that totally different. I thought you meant like what age. I understand.
Oh,
okay.
You went on for, I didn't even notice.
Oh, okay.
You were lulling me with your words, your fancy
Shakespearean. Okay.
What are they called? Iris wisdom words?
Yeah. My intelligence words. Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. Again, I was with my we got married like on our 10-year anniversary. So like again, that like concept is like out of the window. Our best friends were together like since they were like sophomores.
10 years. That's what like the most popular YouTuber, PewDiePie, like, cause he started his channel back in whenever 2010, I think, whenever YouTube was like just starting, and now he's like the biggest YouTuber, and like his wife was like one of his first subscribers, and they like met and they like talked like at like the beginning of his channel, and then they just got married in 2020.
What?
Yeah.
How
they've been like everyone's like favorite couple.
What?
For like 10 years, and they finally got married.
What? That's crazy. Cool.
I know.
I like that.
And everyone was so excited for them. It was so cool. But like 10 years for you guys too.
Yeah. But yeah, that is, again, it's an interesting question just because like there are some people who literally stay together for years and they don't tie the knot. And it's like people like, thinking like, well, maybe they're just comfortable. But then also on the other hand, like, so does that mean that you don't want to get married? Like, are you don't think each other's the one? Or like what's the issue here?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like there's definitely at least an expectation of a sweet spot of when to get married. I would say just if, again, I can't go off personal experience because mine was so long. If I had to just say a generic thing, it would be like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like enough time to know that you could at least see yourself
every side of someone.
Yeah. The thing is that I feel like some people in that 2 years is still very like honeymoon-ish for them, and they're still like super happy and still like doing all the firsts together and all this. Yeah. And then like, oh, we should get married. And it's like, just make sure that you're in the friend place where you're actually friends with each other and not just seeing each other as like, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, where everything's, like, so, like, separate and, like, you're on cloud 9 and all this.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be, like, yeah, no, we're actually, like, so, but, yeah. My question was super, not random, but, like, it is random, but, like, random for you because you're a kid, but,
who are you getting married to?
No, I said who, if you had to choose right now, who would you be your best man?
Zane Tankersley. My best man.
So not your brother?
No. Why would I choose
I was thinking he was listening.
My brother sucks. Literally, we paused halfway through. We were talking about Linda Fusco having red hair. We paused, and I was talking to my brother, and he started choking me for no reason. He started choking me. He was like, oh, please, I want a hug. And then he started just grabbing me and choking me, and I was like, why?
To be fair, I did say if you had to choose right now,
and
that was like 10 minutes ago.
So that was like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, based on previous events, yeah, Zane Tankersley, my best friend, would probably be my best man. I'm sorry, Nico. This is what you get. And then earlier, I was like, hey, give me some of your bubble gum. And he was like, no. Yeah, that's why you're not my best man. Remember this
and this
for
is
when
why
I
this
actually get married.
And this is why this is a question for not a child.
There he is. There he is.
Oh, he was listening.
This is why you aren't my best man. Yeah, give me your big league chew, and next time we'll think about it.
He totally was listening. He's popping in on the studio. Yeah, my husband definitely he did choose his brother. He was his best friend's best man, but then when he got married, well, he did get married first though. He chose his brother, but his brother chose him. Mm-hmm. So like that was, I kind of said that out of order. Like his brother chose him, and then so when he got married, he chose his brother. So when his best friend got married, it was like it wasn't awkward because his best friend doesn't have a brother.
Yeah.
But so he chose him, and so it was kind of like, oh, that's weird because I didn't choose you, but he also officiated their wedding though. My husband officiated their wedding. Yeah, he was the best man and the officiant.
How does that even work?
There was just like a blank spot.
He was just like the priest?
I want to say like I walked, because I was the matron of honor. I want to say that I walked down the aisle by myself. Yeah, because I think each man and each woman walked down by themselves, and then at the end we just met each other after, like, because he was the officiant, so he kind of just stepped down and walked me out. So it was really nice though. But yeah, one last thing. Again, you're a kid, but where would you want to get married? Like what kind of?
Hawaii. Blow $1 billion.
Hawaii.
Oh,
okay.
We're going to Hawaii.
Like on the beach or like a
in
nice
the
venue?
Water.
Okay. This is.
Kandyce, by the time I'm getting married,
I forgot I'm asking a 14-year-old boy.
2042, we're going to be underwater. We're going to be on Mars. I could have my wedding on Mars, Kandyce, if I wanted to. Anyways, okay. I don't know, actually.
But do you like it indoor or you like the beach or like
I thought your wedding was really nice. All that I can remember of it. Only like a few snippets. Mm-hmm. It was really nice, like indoors. And
yeah, I was like pretty adamant about indoors. Yeah. I don't like to leave it up to the weather to dictate what's going to happen on my wedding day.
The beach thing, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hurricane, okay, bye. Everyone.
Exactly.
In one swoop. Yeah, I got married in it was a wedding venue, so it wasn't like a real mansion, but it was like, one that looks like a mansion. It looks kind of like the White House type thing. It was so pretty. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was my dream wedding. Like I had exactly what I wanted. It was amazing.
This is the YouTuber, and this is his wife.
Oh my gosh, he does not look like that in his videos. He looks really handsome there.
I know, right?
Is that mean? He looks really handsome there.
I'm guessing were they like definitely outdoor, right?
I mean, we took pictures outdoors, so it's hard to say like because you get the best lighting outdoors. So you get married indoors sometimes, and then you take pictures outside. So yeah. But
do people usually wear all black like that? I think that looks sick.
Like, no, I mean, honestly, grooms wear whatever.
Where's like
my husband wore all white.
All white? Mm-hmm. That's weird.
That's how I wanted it. I wanted me to be in all white, him to be in all white, and then we had a white Corvette.
And it was that's where it was. Holy crap, that's a nice venue.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's indoors, yeah. I think something like that's really cool. Like all glass, really tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
But yours was sick. It was up to hizzy.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Very nice.
Okay, well, junk time has gone on long enough, so let's move on. Plot holes!
Alright, Kandyce.
I've
been waiting for this.
We've mentioned a lot of plot holes.
Many.
I feel like already. So, you want to go ahead?
I have Trace.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it hard to figure out whose gift blew up? Like, there's only a few gifts on the gift table. So it's like, okay, this present blew up. So how would you not be able to be like, okay, well, this was from...
Well, I'm assuming...
this girl.
But that's the thing is that if you brought the gift, like, to the... Like, if you... Say it's Stephanie. We know it's her. Mm-hmm. So she's going to bring 2 gifts. She's going to bring a bomb gift. And she's going to bring a regular gift. So it's not like she's going to have a missing gift. It's not going to say, like, from Stephanie on it. Like, it's going to...
I get that, but then it's like, okay, so it's someone at the wedding rehearsal, which is like 5 people there.
My plot hole was that you don't bring gifts to a rehearsal?
Yeah, right?
What?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with the gifts? You bring them to the wedding. why was there a gift table in the chapel of the rehearsal? Why would you ever, what? If you brought gifts to, like, say you're getting married in a chapel, the gifts would be, like, right when you walk in the door. There'd be a plastic table like how they had it, and you'd set the gifts on that. Mm-hmm. You would not have it next to the altar.
Yeah.
With the gifts. Like, what?
In the shot. They should have, like, one of the pew, like, the kneelers blow up.
Like, where you stick with, like, the Bible or something?
Yeah.
You just stick it in the back of the pew.
That's like C4.
Yeah. Or, like, one of the candelabras or something. It just explodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That, to me, that was the plot hole, but I get what you're saying, too.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, no gifts at a rehearsal, but even then, like, why?
How many people could have just walked in there and put that there? Oh my
God!
Oh,
like he would. Okay, I think the plot hole would have to be one of the people. How long was the gift there?
Yeah.
Like, how long did Stephanie have to put it there?
Yeah.
So one of you brought this gift. Who was it? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, a callback to Captain Albright, of course. You probably won't get this one, so I'll say it. You should definitely try your tux on when you get it. My mom, she rents tuxedos. And whenever you come to pick it up, you have to try it on. Like, the only reason that you wouldn't is, like, if you just had no time to even send it back anyway.
Yeah.
Because, like, what happens is you get the tux, and say your event is on Saturday. Well, they get the tux in, like, on Wednesday, and then you have those days to, like, buy. Even, like, you can come in on, like, Friday, and they can, like, overnight it if they need to. But you're supposed to come in, like, right away. You're supposed to try the tuxedo on, and if anything's wrong with it, they can send it back and have it to you by your date. Mm-hmm. But, and I know, and I want to say, like, I don't know if that's the best plot hole. I just do know that, like, since my mom does rent tuxedos, like, I know that about how the process that she does it. Because there are a lot of TV shows where, like, oh, did you pick up the tuxes? And it's like,
oh no.
But usually somebody gathers up the tuxedos and takes them back. But usually you have to go pick up your own because you have to try it on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a little plot hole that I caught. And it might not even be a great one because I could just be, that could just be her procedure. But that's as far as I know. When you're renting, you have to try it on so they can send it back if they need to.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So, I feel like this is one of the biggest... Actually, no. Honestly, all three of mine are pretty big, but why would they practice in a church, practice the whole entire ceremony inside of a church if they were going to do it on a beach? Like, and then they also didn't invite anyone to their wedding, but invited people to the reception?
So the first one is I feel like it's not necessarily a plot hole, but however, they did not explain, because this is what I assume happened, that after all this whole ordeal, they were planning on getting married.
Scared or something.
Not that she got scared, but they just got like, they're like, oh, to heck with it. Because didn't Stoudemire at the beginning say, like, why are we doing this big to-do? Why don't we just go elope? Or why don't we just go to the beach? Or something like that. Why don't we just get married on the beach? Like, you think he said something like that. And then she was like, no, I want to do it right. And then after her literal maid of honor is a murderer, it was kind of like, okay, that kind of put a damper on the whole thing.
Fun, yeah.
And do they want to get married where they blew up? Like, they also had an explosion there. So maybe they weren't even ready to have a chapel wedding.
That's true.
So
that's true. You're
so
right.
Then, like, the whole, like, again, they didn't explain it, but I'm thinking, like, the whole stress of it thing. And then what is the other thing you said was the reception?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that do that. I don't really get it, but I kind of sort of do. Because it's like, they want the, like, ceremony to be, like, really intimate or private, or they just want to have it at a certain location that only holds a certain amount of people. Mm-hmm. And then they go, oh, by the way, we're having a reception after words, and here's the location. And it's like, all these people show up to the reception and not the wedding. Not a fan of that.
Why would you do that?
But I don't know. Meaning, I don't know personally, but like logistically, I feel like it's just like a small venue, and then like, I don't know, which is kind of the opposite, because like you'd think you'd invite everyone to like the ceremony so they can actually see you get married, and then be like, but we don't want to buy you dinner because that's expensive.
Exactly.
So
why?
Bye everyone.
Yeah. You love us, so we'll buy you food? No. You love us so you can watch us get married.
And then buy your own food.
Yes, exactly.
Bye, your own food.
Exactly.
Okay, I have 6 months. We already talked about this, but like, no way is that 6 months from his birthday to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's episode-wise.
That's 2 months between, like, every episode.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then this one, they were getting married in 9 days. He proposed, and then after that, they must have jumped some type of time. Right? Because Stottlemeyer's, like, proposing. Like, we didn't even see him proposing. And then TK's getting all this wedding stuff ready, and he's like, we're getting married in 9 days. And I'm like, wait, what? You didn't even know you were getting married, and now you're putting together a wedding in 9 days? And then they, of course, time jump again because it's like a day before the wedding. Mm-hmm. So there's like going to be a lot of time jumping, which they did not explain between then and then. So yeah, of course we have not the same Jareds, multiple Jareds. Okay, I said those kids look like twins. What on earth? Because we've seen Stottlemeyer's kids before, and one's way older than the other one, and those kids look like identical aged. Yeah. But then again, it's not the same Jared we saw at. It looks like the same Jared we saw in the episode where the wife gets in an accident. It's like Mr. Monk and the captain's wife. Mm-hmm. It looks like those kids, honestly. But it's not the kid we saw at the rock concert. That kid was brunette. Yeah. Not blonde. So, like, totally way, way off. Okay, my next one is another, like, little wedding thing. Like, a little etiquette thing. When Natalie's like, Mr. Monk, walk normal. He was walking normal. Like, that's how you march, like, in a wedding.
Like, one step at a time?
Yeah. You can walk. People like nowadays they walk normally, but you're supposed to walk like at a slower, like pace, like.
No, like, it was like, but you can't see it.
But I get what you're saying. But they also were like, just, if it's a rehearsal, they're just all walking like super cash, like boop ba doop ba doop ba doo, and it's a little more like formal than that. I just didn't think that it was like, that wasn't a super, like, I didn't write that down as a crazy moment because I was like, yeah, but that's like, he's getting that from somewhere. He's getting that information from somewhere. That's kind of how you wedding march. But, whatever.
So, Stephanie Briggs, she has everyone hostage outside of the police station, and she shoots a gun. She's like, oh, you want to bet that I don't have a bullet in the chamber? And she shoots it in the air like an idiot. Which, first of all, you're right next to a police station. Why would you do that? Second of all, why would you do that in the first place? Why would you shoot in the first place? Let alone near a police station. Why would you... Oh, well, I want to bet and shoot in the air?
She's shooting the air because she doesn't want to kill anybody. She doesn't want a bloodbath. She just wants to warn them. Like, you fire a warning shot like, oh yeah, boom, this gun's loaded. Get in the car. But the best plot hole is that
right next to the police station.
Yeah. Right next to the police station.
They chased her out. Yeah. And, like, one scene, like, I don't think
I just realized that's the first time we've ever seen the exterior of the police station like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was extremely weird.
Yeah, because they chased her out. Yeah.
Okay, my last one is, how was Randy not a little upset that Stottlemeyer didn't choose him?
I know, right? I would have been upset.
They didn't address that or lean on that at all. I don't know. I mean, not that it, like, deserved it. Not that, like, I wanted, like, Randy to be mad.
He did. I thought he deserved it.
But there was that episode where, like, he's like, I love you, man. And he's like, I love you. Like, you know what they're saying? Like, I love you or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, you love Monk. Oh, and has this, like, big complex about it. And then now, like, Monk's the best man. And
Randy doesn't make any deal about it. I thought that could have been pretty funny, too. Like Randy, like, you know.
I wouldn't have gripped it in my hand or whatever. I'd be able to open my hand right now or something, like, something stupid.
Yeah. But I guess Randy did want to play the music and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Okie doke. Let's move on. How crazy was Monk this episode?
Plus crazy moment.
Okay. Out of 10 what?
Out of 10 butterfly orchids.
Okay. Nice. I actually put out of 10 floral soulmates.
Aww.
Because that's what she said. I also did have out of 10 extra plain pizzas. No must of us. Or juice boxes. Or out of 10 single beers. Okay, so crazy moments, speaking of. Okay, so Monk ruins the surprise. Mm-hmm. He cries at the station. He won't stop gripping the ring. He can't get the glove on his fist. Extra plain pizza and juice boxes. A porta potty in the potty. The coasters and the extra coasters. Oh my gosh, his terrible duck joke. So a guy
Oh
walks
my
into
God.
a bar and
Oh my God,
he
I
has
hated that.
and he has a duck on his head, and the guy
like,
says, and the guy says, "Oh, are you Leland Stottlemyre?" "Yep." "You mean the guy whose first marriage lasted after 5 minutes, and the other one was divorced after 20, and the third one was Linda Fusco, who was a convicted murderer or whatever?" And they're like, "Yep," or something like, "Oh, and you're gonna try to get married again?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "Oh, no wonder you're crazy. That's why you have a duck on your head."
I know.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
That was well, I mean, it wasn't
horrible.
that was part of the dislike of that. That was so cringe. Oh my gosh.
Horrible.
That was sad. So everyone gets a beer, just a beer. Oh, he said I got a Hollywood movie. It's off the hook. I was like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna vomit," and then the guy vomits on screen, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a movie, right? It's just a movie." He loves his spirit flower when he gets his plastic one. He wants to. Oh my gosh, this was actually really funny. He wanted to walk TK's dad down the aisle because they were the same height. He's like, "Think of how cool it would look." I was like, it's so funny because I was like so particular about my wedding. It's like, that's just one of those like stupid little things where like, think of how cool it would look though. And we're like, oh my gosh, the aesthetics of the height. I thought it was funny. Of course, Monk can't open his hand at the ceremony.
Yeah.
He has to finish his here's what happened. Like once he gets started, he's like, it's like a sneeze, like gotta let it out. And then he can't sit in the back seat whenever she's like trying to make him get in the front. He's like, no, I can't.
Entire scene. Whenever it's
it
like,
is good, yeah.
He's like, I have to finish this. And Stottlemyre's like, yeah, he has to finish it. And he's like, I can't sit in the back seat. Stottlemyre's like, yeah, he can't sit in the back seat. Like they're at gunpoint and they're just like messing with this girl.
And then TK walks up and Stottlemyre's like, "Get out of here! I don't want to see you. I'm mad at you. Get out of here!" And then Monk's like, "Yeah, he hates your guts." that was actually my last crazy moment. I love that one. "Yeah, he hates your guts. Get out of here." It's so funny. So out of 10 floral soulmates, okay, I gave us a 7.
A 7.
Yeah, I gave him a 7 for the ring and the terrible party.
I gave him a 5. I mean, that was pretty much it though. The ring and the terrible party. That was literally like the only thing that wasn't like cute Oblivious Monk.
Yeah, but again, sometimes I just rate them off of like in front of all those guys, he was crazy, and like that's what sets it over. Like the fact he gripped the ring for God knows how long, and then in front of all the guys, he threw such a terrible party. You're just like, oh gosh, that's so cringe. But
that's true. Yeah. It was pretty cringy. You're right. Ready to move on? Rate this episode.
Okay, I really need you to go first.
Oh, okay. Why?
I don't know where I'm gonna rank this.
Oh, so you're piggybacking on me now. Okay.
I am. I want to see what your number is.
My entire summary is I didn't really like it. Okay?
Interesting. Okay.
It was boring. Like, nothing really happened other than the marriage. Crime was definitely back burner. I don't know. I mean, I know what I rated it, but I feel confident with it, so I'm just going to say it. Okay?
Okay.
8.25 out of 10. That stands in between the critic and the birthday.
Okay. That's interesting. So then maybe this won't be as hard as I thought. Yeah, because what my problem is that I don't want to spoil anything because like the wrap up is coming up, so I don't want to get like too much into like the logistics of where we ranked things.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's hard to explain because like I rated the critic and group therapy the same, but I think I like the group therapy a lot more.
Oh.
Like a lot more than the critic. And so whenever I'm kind of gauging, I'm like, well, the critic was a 9 and group therapy was also a 9, but I actually like that more. But I know I like this particular episode, Best Man, over the critic, but possibly under group therapy. So then I have nowhere to place it. Okay, I'll give my spiel at least.
Go ahead.
I actually really enjoyed this episode. It's not a super memorable one from my past, but in a nice surprising way where I knew where the crime was going, but I didn't remember any of the marriage stuff. So I really, really liked the heartstrings that they were tugging on. I really appreciated that. And they had they literally had Natalie crying, TK, Monk, Stottlemyre, and then on top of that, very nice group action, which I've been wanting and waiting for, and they did that. And I really, really liked that. And I thought the ending and the wedding was great too. But the crime that you totally predicted, that sucks that you predicted it, because then I'm like, wow, it was really obvious, and which makes me think it was less clever than it was, and it was more back burner. But again, it's we're getting so close to the end. Do you fault them for not having great crimes at the end because that's why people love it? Or do you go, well, but we also love, at this point, we don't need any wacky murders. We love Monk and we love all the characters. Or do we crave and deserve both?
Yeah.
That's where I'm struggling with this. Because the other episodes, like I mentioned, group therapy and the critic, those heartstrings are not there. Yeah. And this one had that. But as far as just it's like a generic Monk episode where I want to watch a crime thing, and they falls completely flat. Yeah. But as a storyline one, good. Loved it.
That's pretty much sums it up right there.
Okay, how about this? If I wouldn't watched it with you, and you hadn't predicted the crime, I probably would rank it higher. Yeah. So I'll just do that. I'm gonna go with a 10.91. Whoa. Yeah. If I had watched it by myself, I would not have been spoiled by the crime. By you essentially spoiling.
You didn't know the crime?
No, I did, but I remembered liking the crime and I thought it was good. But the fact you figured it out,
my
drops it down.
Ruined the episode for you.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm sorry, Candace. I'm too sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna do that 10.91. Okay. All right, guys. This is, oh my gosh, we are so close to the end. It is crazy. We have 3 more episodes. 3 more episodes.
That was our 4th junk time.
That was our, yep. Aww. So, but it is Toby's birthday, and as much as we hate him, we also kind of like him.
We kind of can stand him. We're going to go to Six Flags for him. Yay.
Yes, we are going to Six Flags for Toby's birthday. That's what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So.
And we're going to open this package from Favi.
At some point in life.
Right now.
Well, we're not doing it right now. Are you crazy?
Please.
Okay, let's just spoil the whole...
Oh, really?
Everything.
What if it's $500? We'll never know.
That's not in the end of Monk, I can tell you.
We'll never know. It's from one of the episodes. Kind of Sotomayor's here, Monk, $500. No, it's a yacht. It's I finally got you your yacht, Sotomayor. And it's yacht keys.
Yacht keys, oh my gosh. Okay.
I love you guys. Yacht keys.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next week for our 3rd to last episode.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Candace, she's at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.